What you just saw is a segment of a video that I created that took about 6 hours to produce and over 50,000 OpenArt credits. And the reason for that is because I was testing what I could do inside of Smart Shot that allows us to keep a consistent character across segments, which is not something Smart Shot is built to do, at least not natively in the interface. I'm going to show you every step of the way, including the parts where that failed and why, and also parts where the AI just seemed to ignore what I asked it to do. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve. Welcome back to Grandpa Does AI. Pull up a chair and let's dive right into today's workflow. Today, we're going to use OpenArt's Smart Shot feature to build a complete AI-generated story from scratch, and not just a collection of cool images, an actual story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Our character, which is a character that was created in OpenArt's character creator, is going to rescue a sea turtle that's tangled up in some fishing line on the shore. Now, if you haven't seen the video before this, it's really part one of the sequence. And in that video, through trial and error, I came up with this workflow that allowed me to use consistent characters across separate 15-second video segments using Smart Shot. So that's going to be the basis of this video. Here's a link to that video, so check it out if you haven't seen it. So let's dive in. So as always, the first thing I do is go to Gemini Pro and establish my base prompts. So I go to Gemini Pro, I tell it that I want to create a story with a character of mine named Amy, that she's on a beach and she's going to rescue a stranded sea turtle that has some issues. So it generates our scenes based on the criteria that I gave Gemini. So as you can see, we've got 4 scenes. And the reason we have 4 scenes is because I told Gemini that I wanted the story to be around 60 seconds total, and the segments are 15 seconds each. So it created 4. And so let's go ahead and grab the prompt for the first scene, the discovery, and take it over to OpenArt and go into Smart Shot here and go ahead and get the establishing shot set up. So first thing we need to do is verify the settings, and it defaults to the 480, so we'll move it back up to 720 and make sure it's at 15 seconds. We need to add our character reference here, which Amy is a predefined character that I've created, so we'll go ahead and select Amy. Now we can paste in the prompt. OpenArt makes it really easy to refer to a character or even a reference image by simply using the @ sign in the prompt. As soon as you put the @ sign, any reference that you've used, whether it's a character or a image, will be identified in a little drop down. You just click on it and it'll ensure you don't have any typos. So now we can go ahead and generate the preview sheet. And as we can see, it's using the character Amy. So we have our established environment area, the beach area. Then we have the Amy character with her white beach bag. And then we get into the storyboard area, and this breaks down each shot, the camera type, the camera lens, all the details. And as we back out here and we look at this prompt at the bottom, all those details are in the prompt. The entire storyboard, every single cutscene is in this prompt. All right, let's generate our video from this prompt. So we have our establishing shot to set up the environment and the character, but we do have a couple of issues. One is we lost the bag at the end of the scene, and it existed in the storyboard here in scene 5 or in cut 5. She clearly had the bag. The other is in cut 3 where the bag is at her feet, but that's my fault because it was in the storyboard that way. I'm just going to keep it real simple on this first shot. So even though there's a few issues, the goal here is just to say, here's our character, here's our world, here's where we are. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the process, and we'll just cut out the scenes that don't match. So the first thing we've got to do is go to our part 1 of our story and grab a frame that we can use as our starting frame for part 2. Now, The ending frame of this is what I would usually use, but remember, we lost the bag. The bag wasn't there, so I'm going to go grab a frame from the beginning of the video and use that instead, because that's the video right there, or the frame right there, that isn't going to work. So now we go over to Gemini Pro, we grab scene 2, the conflicts prompt, and we're going to go back into OpenArt, and we're going to use that prompt for scene 2. Now, we have to add in new references. Remember, now in the first one, we used the character reference for Amy, but we only have 2 reference slots going forward, so we can't use that reference slot or the character reference slot, because that would use up a slot and we would only have 1 left. And we need a starting frame, and we're also going to need to be able to refer to the turtle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go grab the frame that we just took out of the video. That's going to be frame number 1, or image number 1. And now we need to create a reference for the Amy character as well as eventually the turtle. So how do we do that? Well, if we go back to the preview sheet and we focus on just sections 1 and 2, Smart Shot allows us to crop that picture, that image, and upload it as a reference, and it honors those 2 sections. If you include section 3 and 4, it will ignore it. So only sections 1 and 2 can be used. So that's what I've done for image 2 in this particular video sequence. So we can use image 1 as the starting frame, and then we can refer to image 2 as Amy, and eventually the turtle as well. Now, I'm also going to modify this prompt just a little bit to indicate that Amy is approaching the turtle and then kneels by it, rather than she just starts out next to it. All right, with that complete, we can go ahead and generate another preview sheet and see what we end up with. All right, this is exactly what we were looking for. The starting frame matches. We have Amy. Now the turtle has been introduced, and it was supposed to have fishing line around its neck, and it does. We're still in the same environment, the same beach setting, so everything is working as intended. In the storyboard section, we can see what each cut is going to be in the prompt. So let's go ahead and generate the video for part 2 of our story and see what it looks like. So we have a couple of issues in this sequence too, where as she's approaching, the orientation of the turtle changes, and also in the ending where she's once again standing and there's no bag. Most creators will just show you the finished result and how flawless everything is, but you don't see that with my channel. I want you to see the mistakes that are made and then how we get around them, because that's real life. That's the way this stuff really works. It isn't perfect every time. Since I can tell I'm going to need to cut some of these segments up through editing, I decided to go ahead and create a new base image from the last segment, and modify the prompt a little bit to try to generate a new video segment that bridged the gaps a little bit of what I knew I was going to lose. And you'll notice in this prompt, I refer to Amy and the turtle as image 2. So let's see what we get. Wow, that video was way better, all the way up until she pulled out a curling iron or a soldering iron. I'm not sure what it was. But see, that has to be an issue in the prompt, and that's 100% my fault. So let me go look at the prompt that was created by Smart Shot and see what it actually said, because obviously I generated the video without thoroughly reading the prompt. And as you can see here, it's saying she pulls a helpful item out of the bag. Well, a helpful item isn't necessarily a knife, right? So I'm going to modify the prompt here and say she pulls out a small knife and regenerate. All right, so between the two videos we generated, we definitely have enough material to create a good second segment of the video. The only part I didn't like about this one was where she was trying to do a Vulcan mind meld with the turtle. But between the two videos, we have plenty of material. All right, so we just need to grab the final frame of this video segment, and that'll become our starting frame for the next video segment. And at this point, everything's going to be very routine. Same workflow. So we're going to go grab the prompt from scene 3, jump back over to OpenArt, throw it into the prompt box, make some changes so that we can use our reference images. The reference images are going to be the same format as before, and then we will see what we get. So what we're trying to do here is actually generate a video that you don't see your hands trying to cut the line free, because AI models have a very difficult time not morphing when they do that. So we're going to use a trick to let the viewer's mind do the work for us. Well, that isn't exactly what I had in mind, but we can go ahead and regenerate based on our current storyboard and see if we get a better result the second time. Well, that also wasn't what I had in mind. Now, the beginning was great with the way she looked with her shoulders. It looked like she was cutting, but clearly we didn't want it to switch to rope. So I went ahead and created another video based on the prompt shown on the screen to see if we can get a better result. Now, in this case, I told it to focus on the perspective between Amy and the turtle. Keep it consistent. So between the three videos that we have, we definitely have enough material to create a suitable scene 3. Let's move on to scene 4. So we're going to follow the same routine. We're going to go to Gemini Pro. We're going to grab our prompt for scene 4. Now notice the prompt says standing on the shoreline, but in our scenes, she was kneeling. So I'm going to paste in the prompt here and put in our reference images like always, but I am going to change the line in the prompt to indicate she's kneeling so it more closely matches what our reference images are going to be, because she was literally kneeling as the turtle was going away in the final frame. So I'll go ahead and generate the preview sheets, and I'm looking at the storyboard in particular for the bag placement. I want the bag in front of her, and it is in the second one. And the reason I want the bag in front of her is because that's where it was at the ending frame of the last segment. Here it's behind her in cutscene 1. So we'll go ahead and use the second preview sheet to generate our video and see how it turns out. Now, I really like that video, except that the turtle has a rope around its neck as it's going out to sea, and she's looking down the beach instead of out into the ocean as it's leaving. So I generate another video using the same preview sheet. Now, this time she's looking in the right direction as the turtle gets into the ocean, but we still have that lingering green rope. And so I'm looking at the preview sheets because I am assuming at this point that my preview sheets have the rope around the turtle's neck in section 1, the character portion, but they don't. So I could keep trying to tweak the prompt to make the rope go away or the fishing line, and I actually did try multiple times and I was just unable to get it to go away. So I chose to fix it by modifying the video directly. So I used the video that I liked and just did OpenArt's modify feature. And the easiest way to do this, and OpenArt makes this really easy because once you bring up the video and you go into the modify menu, you can choose the segment of that video that you want to edit. So I just grabbed the part of the video, it's just a 3-second chunk, that had the turtle walking with the green rope around its neck. And now you've just got a 3-second chunk of video that we need to edit. You can choose different models, and Cdance 2 is one of them, but you'll notice I choose WAN 2.7. And the reason I did that is because Cdance 2 repeatedly ignored the remove commands, but all we got to say is remove the green fishing line from this video and refer to the video name with the @ sign, just like we did with the images in the prompts. And then go ahead and generate, and we'll see what we get. Voila, problem solved. But really, this is a lesson that you don't have to stick with just one video generation model. If you're having trouble getting it to do one particular task, simply try another model. Many of them are capable. All right, so now we have all of the individual components. Now I'll just bring them all into a video editor and make one video out of it, and let's see what it looks like. Once again, I just cannot emphasize enough how impressed I am with what these AI tools allow non-artistic people like me to do. And if I can do it, so can anyone else. If you've made it this far and you find this interesting, or at least an entertaining train wreck in the making, I hope you will like and subscribe. My prior video is linked to the right. It's really part 1 to this if you missed it. I hope you enjoyed today's learning adventure, and I hope to see you around for the next one.